What's up, Saiyan Army? Welcome to the video. So today we got a new client transformation video for you guys, but we're gonna do something a little bit different. Today we got a lean bulking transformation. Now I know a lot of you guys been requesting for one, so if you guys did, give this video a thumbs up. Or just if you guys like the transformation videos, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps grow the channel and I really appreciate it and keeps me making these kind of videos for you guys because I know these videos can and will motivate and help a lot of you. Today we got my client Garrett, and as always, just shout out to my client Garrett for allowing me to share his journey, his transformation. So a little background on Garrett. He is 19 years old. He is 6'1". He started lifting at 15 years old. So this is my second time actually working with Garrett. I worked with him earlier, I believe last year. We helped him cut down from 182 pounds to 162 pounds. And Garrett maintained that and hit me up later with a goal to add more muscle to his frame to move into a surplus and start his lean bulking transformation. So a little background on Garrett. I'm not gonna read it all just because it's kind of a lot, just for time's sake. So I'm gonna put it on the screen right now for you guys to watch. And if you guys want, you guys can pause it and read through his background, some struggles he overcame. So that's a little bit of Garrett's story. Let's get into the transformation. Week 1. So prior to coaching, Garrett was doing 3 to 4 cardio sessions a week. His macros were 150 carbs, 50 fats, and 170 grams of protein. So we needed to immediately start reverse dieting him back up. Now we get a lot of questions about reverse dieting, and there's two main ways to go about it. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion. But the first way is to immediately, throw a lot of calories back at the person. Immediately throw like 20% more calories at the person and increase the macros. And I think that way works a lot better for competitors or people that obviously get to those real low body fat levels, those 6%, 5% body fat levels, that contest conditioning, and then obviously they're very depleted, very tired, very lethargic, they feel like poop. So obviously you got to throw calories back at them to get them functioning normal and feeling better after that. The second way is to go nice and slowly, and this is the more traditional way, is to just slowly ramp calories back up again, and that's what I do with the majority of my clients. Reason being is I think when you throw too much calories at clients after they've been dieting for too long of a time, they tend to binge. So if you throw like 50 more carbs at a person, they start eating 100 more carbs, 200 more carbs, and they can't control themselves. But if you keep that discipline that they gain cutting down, and you keep that discipline going back up again and just slowly keep adding it back up, I know it's a lot of times they're more likely to keep that discipline moving forward. So instead of moving it from 150 carbs to like 300 carbs, you just do it nice and slowly, then they can build that discipline going back up again. That's just my personal opinion, and that's the main way I reverse that at my clients. So what we did was, week 1, we took 200 carbs, 50 fats, and 170 grams of proteins. So we kicked up carbs by 50 grams, so 200 calories, not much, but we dropped cardio as well to 2 sessions of 300 calories. And reason being is I kind of understand how his body works from previously coaching him. So I knew he wasn't gonna gain that much weight off of that, which he didn't. His weight stayed the same at 164 pounds. So here's Garrett's week 1 pictures. As you can see, Garrett has a pretty decent base, a lot of lagging areas that we were targeting and working on, but I knew just from previously working with him that once we started throwing calories back at him, he was gonna start growing again, and we'll bring all those points up. Week 2, macros, 225 carbs, 55 fats, 170 grams of proteins. Like I said previously, we're slowly reversing everything back up, reversing his metabolism back up, getting it running high again. Cardio sessions was 2 sessions of 300 calories. His average weight was 165.4 pounds. But this was an off week. He travels a lot for his job and his family. This wasn't like the perfect 12 weeks. He had a few weeks where he was off and missed some workouts and was traveling and whatnot. So yeah, here's his week 2 pictures. As you can see, it pretty much looks the same as week 1. I mean, I guess if you look closely, he looks a little bit more full. Obviously, he gained about 1.5 pounds in that week. So he looks a little bit more full, but nothing too crazy. Understand, guys, that muscle takes a lot longer to gain than it does to lose fat. So you can't expect week to week changes, or you can't expect to see much happening, week to week, and most times even month to month, depending on how long you've been lifting for, your experience and whatever. So don't be worried if you don't see changes every single week when you're lean bulking or trying to gain muscle. So just be patient. Consistency is key. You're gonna see your weight slowly creeping up. You might gain a little bit of body fat, which is all good, but your strength should be going up, and and those are the main two factors that you look for when lean bulking. And you know, obviously you should be able to see at least some minor changes month to month. Also, for time's sake, we're going to be skipping every other week from here on out. So we're going to do week 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. But we will include all the weeks and all the macros and weigh-ins and everything for you guys to see and follow along. Week 4. Macros, 250 carbs, 55 fats, and 170 grams of proteins. Cardio, we finally kicked down. Well, we kicked that down cardio in week 3 to 1 session of 300 calories, and we kept it there for the rest of the transformation. And reason being, I like that 1 session of cardio is just to keep your cardiovascular health intact. A lot of people, when they go into bulk mode, they completely disregard cardio, and I know a lot of you guys hate cardio. I hate cardio as well. You know, whether you're cutting or you're bulking, you just got to do it to keep a healthy cardiovascular system, which is why unless my clients have extremely fast metabolisms, you know, but even then, once like we get their macros high enough and they're, you know, making progress, I always usually try to sneak in at least 1 session just to keep them active. Average weigh-in was 164.9 pounds, and here's his week 4 pictures. As you can see, not much has changed. If anything, you can see his chest filling out a little bit more. The abs and his body fat relatively looks the same. Lats look a little bit wider. He could be also flaring his lats a little bit, but you know, the leg is pretty consistent in all his pictures, so you can see like real minuscule changes here and there. So one thing I tell all my clients is don't get caught up in the week-to-week pictures. Don't study them and look for the smallest minuscule change. You know, just stay on course, stay diligent, stay consistent, and because change takes time. Change takes time and consistency. Week 6, macros, 300 carbs, 65 fats, 170 grams of proteins. So we kicked up carbs even more, kicked up fats a little bit more as well. Cardio at 1 session, 300 calories. New average weigh-in was 164.5 pounds. So the weight kind of is going up and down, up and down. The reason being is, again, lots of travel. Some weeks were a little bit inconsistent, but it's all good because he's making strength gains and everything's moving in the right direction. Here's his week 6 pictures. Not much change going on. Like, his chest looks a little bit more full every single week. His shoulders definitely are capping off ever so slightly. Triceps look like they're developing a little bit more. From the back, I think, is one of his bigger changes. You can see his lats developing a lot more V taper coming in. So let's keep on going. Week 8. Macros, 325 carbs, 70 fats, and 180 grams of proteins. Cardio at 1 session, 300 calories. Average weigh-in was 166.3 pounds. So his weight's kind of going up slowly but surely. His weight stayed the same from the previous week, week 7, which was 166.5 pounds. So he actually dropped 0.2 pounds, but it's all good. Like, understand that lean bulking, just like anything else, like losing fat and cutting is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You just take your time and slowly let the numbers go down. Lean bulking is a little bit different where, you know, you don't need your weight to change every single week, you know, just slow and steady increases as you go. The goal with lean bulking is to gain muscle while minimizing the fat gain. So yeah, you don't need to be gaining, you know, 1 to 2 pounds a week, because no one's gonna gain 8 pounds of muscle in 1 month, or really 4 pounds of muscle in 1 month, unless you're on drugs or extremely new to lifting or you're coming off an injury. So here's his week 8 pictures. As you can see, even from the previous weeks, body fat stays relatively the same, but as we'll talk about later on in his transformation, all his lifts went up and he got a lot stronger, especially on the lifts that he wanted to get stronger at, which was mainly his legs he wanted to bring up. So his squat and dead did come up. But we'll talk about all that later on. He's making his progress, he's making gains. Week 8, his physique is looking good and on point, making small and steady changes and small and steady gains. Week 10. Macros, 350 carbs, 70 fats, 180 grams of protein. So we had to increase carbs again. Cardio 1 session, 300 calories. His average weight was 166.5 pounds. Here's his week 10 pictures. As I said, slow and steady progress. Let's go into the last and final week. Week 12, the final week. Macros, 375 carbs, 80 fats, 180 grams of proteins. Cardio was 1 session at 300 calories. Average weigh-in was 167.6 pounds. That marks his heaviest weigh-in throughout the entire 12 weeks. Garrett only gained 3.6 pounds. which is only a little over £1 a month, which is all good. Here's his before and after picture. His body fat looked like it came up just a little bit. I don't know, he could be tensing up a little bit more in the before picture, which, you know, is totally possible. Shoulders and arms look a lot fuller, chest looks fuller, more developed, and especially from the back, he has a lot more V-taper going, a lot wider. His lat development, it looks a lot better. And here's his lifts. These are all conservative 5-rep maxes. His squat started at 210 pounds, ended at 250 pounds. His deadlift started at 300 pounds, ended at 350 pounds. His overhead press or spirit bomb started at 130 pounds, ended at 145 pounds, so 15-pound gain there. Bench started at 210 pounds, got up to 225, so he's not part of the 2-plate club. Congratulations, Garrett. And you know, he has a ton of more gains to make. Time and consistency yields gains, especially when it comes down to building muscle. Again, don't be afraid to lose some aesthetics to gain some. This is something I talk about a lot in a lot of my videos. And don't be afraid of gaining a little bit of body fat throughout your bulking phase. Obviously, understand you don't gotta pig out and eat like Majin Buu, and you know, you don't gotta gain 20 pounds of fat to gain 1 pound of muscle. That doesn't need to happen. Just take things slow and steady. Be patient, but don't be afraid to, you know, to gain some fat while you're eating in that surplus. So one problem I see that a lot of people make is that they're so afraid to lose their abs. They're so afraid of fat. They're so afraid to gain fat that every time they go on their lean bulking journey, they gain a little bit of fat and they cut back down. They gain a little bit of fat, they cut back down. And they end up making zero progress. They end up making zero gains throughout the entire thing and just spinning their wheels. Don't be afraid just to gain a little bit of fat. You know, if you think your surplus is too big, then, you know, shrink it down. Take your time. You know, don't increase calories so quickly. You don't have to gain that much weight that quickly. You're not going to gain that much, you know, you're not going to gain 5 pounds of muscle a month. So you don't need to gain 5 pounds of muscle in that month. You know, just take your time, take it easy, but don't be afraid just to add a little bit of fat. Understand that the gains are being made. Like even for me, I gained about 5 pounds of fat. You know, but I feel a lot better. My performance in the gym is a lot better. Yes, my abs aren't the same as they were, you know, without this 5 pounds of fat, but everything's progressing a lot better. I feel more fuller. My lifts are a lot better, and that's all that matters. You know, I understand that I can cut it back down later on, and you can too. So don't be afraid, you know, in your journey for aesthetics, in your journey to go, you know, Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue or Ultra Instinct. Don't be afraid to, you know, lose some of the aesthetics to gain a little bit of fat. You know, understand that you can always cut it back down later. You can always go on like mini cuts as you go along the way, but you know, in my opinion, mini cuts shouldn't happen until you reach that, until you start losing your abs. You know, once you're over that 15, you know, you start getting into that 20% range, maybe cut it back down to 15 or even less, you know, depending on how, you know, where your metabolic set point is. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this with your friends. I hope this video helps you guys. Let's all ascend throughout this quarantine time. I'm helping a lot of Saiyans ascend through this quarantine. For coaching, email me, gokuflex@gmail.com. I have limited spots available. You can also check out my programs on SaiyanArmy.com. I highly recommend my Saiyan shredding program, or check out Chi-Chi's cookbook as well. I know a lot of you guys are cooking at home right now. Also, previously, Garrett was running a 5-day split, so we increased volume a little bit and put him on a version of my Super Saiyan 6 program. If you guys want to check it out, you guys can check that program out at SaiyanArmy.com. But yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. Let's keep on ascending. Much love, strength, and honor. Aloha.